I then left the room to go talk to my mother. She was chatting with my father at the dinner table. I know you told me not to, but can I go see Hannah tonight because you don't seem interested in me tonight? I asked. Sure, because if I said no, you were just going to do, all you were just going to do is rebel against me anyways, my mom said. I then grabbed my cloak and my American passport and then entered the United States. I then called Hannah and she said she would meet me at the Bean in Millennium Park in a half hour. She was just finishing up at the Chinese bar. It took me about 20 minutes to get to the Bean, and then I got there and I then began to enjoy a butterscotch candy cigar. It was half the length it was originally by the time Hannah got there. How was work today? I asked Hannah. Great. How was your first day of your final year? Hannah asked. Good. Since I chose for us to meet here, would you like to stay or move here? From here? Stay. I haven't been to the Bean in a while, and I'm glad we are here because I like it here. We then walked under the Bean. Where we could do that fine because it was still light out and plenty busy. Isn't it cool looking at all reflections? I asked. It is, Hannah answered. It shows how much I have grown, and it is good for my sensory issues I have told you about. What do you mean when you say it's good for your sensory issues? There is nothing sensory about this. Actually, there is. Looking at my reflection in many ways, as we are here, I find it mindfully stimulating. Oh, and that makes it good for your sensory issues. Yes. Let me ask you this. How did the kickoff to school affect your sensory issues? Not at all, because I knew it was coming, I explained. Then why are we here? Hannah asked. Because I like doing things that are good for my sensory issues, even when my sensory issues are not bad, and being around you is good for my sensory issues. Oh, that's just like how being around you is good for my social anxiety. Correct. Feel free to see me every night if you want because of your autism issues. You too, for your social anxiety issues. We then hung around the Bean for another hour, and then it was time for me to head back to Robbinsog, and Hannah walked with me back to Robbinsog. Would you like me to come in and meet your family? Hannah asked. No, they weren't dressed appropriately for it, I answered. How? Remember, we have been over this. In order for them to see you in Robbinsog, they need to be dressed as royalty. Oh yeah! You do not need to dress nicely. You just need to bring your American passport, which I have because I always go somewhere in Europe over the summer. What do you go to Europe for? I asked. My parents are bartenders. They go on wine tasting trips and take me along, Hannah said. Where did you go this summer? Well, let me rephrase that. We always leave the United States for drink tasting. This year we went to Montreal to taste Canadian wines. And we also went in May, and after my year of law school ended, which is why I have been in Chicago my whole summer. I see. I have been to Britain, Ireland, France, Italy for drinking. They even let me have some drinks underage because it may be illegal here, but it is legal there. Interesting. Any other places you have been to? Mexico for a margarita tasting. When were you in Mexico? 2010. Are there other places you would like to go you haven't been to? Spain. Tell you what. I'll make sure we go there for our honeymoon if we decide to get married. Not sure I said that, not knowing if I meant it or not. We then arrived at the building where Robbinsog is. I have to go see my parents, I said. I need to catch the next Red Line train to Howard, so it is about time I enter Red Jackson, said Hannah. Bye, Hannah. Bye, Hannah. Bye, Dr. Moore Cassius, I love you. That made me smile, and I entered the building and rode the elevator up to the 7th floor, and then went into Robbinsog. Nobody was there, so I changed into my swimsuit and went up to the top floor and into the room where I thought everyone was, and sure enough, everybody was there. Sam and George were roughhousing the pool, and my mom and dad were cuddling in the hot tub. I went to the hot tub because I needed time to relax. Dang, I thought we were going to scare you because you're having none of us in Robbinsog because you forced yourself to leave us when we told you not to, my dad said as a joke. I didn't force myself to leave. You let me. And also, there was a reason why it didn't scare me, because I would have gone after you, and it is totally obvious to me that you would be here, I said. Okay, Marcus. We said that you couldn't go out, and you did. We didn't stop you because we knew all you would do was get in our way, and you would end up winning, which is why we didn't stop you. That doesn't mean we aren't going to punish you, said my mom. Well, here is the truth. We weren't going to punish you this time, but if we let you get away with things, you need to realize that there was going to be a punishment for them, warned my dad. That is fine, but you need to let me know before I do something if you're going to discipline me for something, I said. Only if it is not obvious, said my dad. I agree. Obvious ones you should be able to figure out, said my mom. That is fine, but you are not going to discipline me this time, as Dad said earlier, I clarified. Fine, said my mom. Can I ask you one final question, my dad asked. What is it, I asked. Overall, what is wrong with your behavior, my dad asked. You, I said. I then splash watered my parents, and while they were recuperating from that, I jumped into the pool. Well, do you want to play catch with us? Sam asked. Sure, I said. We can now just toss the ball in the circle between the three of us. Well, once we started with that, we began talking with each other. How was your time with Hannah? Sam asked. Awesome as always, I said. Glad to hear it, sir. Glad to hear it, Sam said. Where did you go? George asked. The Bean, I answered. In Millennium Park? George asked. Yes, I said. It has been a while since I have been there. I'd like to go there soon. We can do that. Basically, there was no reason not to go, I said to George. We can go tonight. We can go tonight. It's only 9 o'clock Central Time, Sam said. Nah, I have been there already today. And it is about a mile there and back, so it will take us a while, along with the fact we have school tomorrow, and it's probably too dark now to see any reflection, I said. He's probably right, Sam, said George. He is, said Sam. Today is Friday, which means school is done for the weekend, so we can go out there for the weekend, I said. Not for the weekend, just during the weekend, said George. We then all laughed because George is right. Let's get off and dry off. We should probably get ready for bed, said Sam. We then did just that and changed into our pajamas in Robbinsog, and then we just chilled on our beds. I have a feeling I am in for a wild ride ahead of me, I said. Why? Sam asked. Because this is my senior year in shit, but usually exciting shit happens during your senior years, I said. You're right. Mom got a full scholarship program to make her and Dad, and he was working for Marvel Comics, Sam said. I just don't know if that is for me, I said. Hopefully you can share the fun with us, said George. I will, I said. I then laid on my bed thinking about the wonderful school year I have ahead of me, and before I knew it, I heard my phone going off telling me it was morning.